Hey Renato, just responding to your video here. Did Francis change God's mind? It's very interesting to hear your response to Pope Francis's comments. I'm an Anglican in Canada, and you are an agnostic, an atheist, not an Anglican in America. Different worlds, sort of, different responses, but a similar response. It's very interesting to hear. I totally agree with Francis's words. I think it's awesome he said them. It seems you seem pretty cool with them as well. Uh, but it's interesting to hear that you speak about Francis Francis's position, the papacy, as one of the only ways in which the church can evolve. And I find, I mean, like you said, evolve is a tricky word when talking about religion, but I think I would agree with you, and I would say, yeah, using evolve to refer to the church is like it makes sense with the understanding that there is a difference between the church and Christianity, where the church is a social organization through which people practice Christianity. Christianity is a belief system that is practiced through the church. Or, I mean, if can be practiced through the church. And so, whereas a social organization uh, does evolve. I mean, I would, it would be hard to make the argument that social organizations don't evolve. Clearly, even the language in which people communicate in those churches is evolving. The buildings evolve. The size of the community is changing every day. So yes, it evolves. The church evolves, and Pope Francis clearly has an influence on the way that happens. And part of that evolution is the way that people live out that teaching. So when he calls to not bring judgment upon homosexuals, human judgment, uh, he is informing the actions, hopefully, of Catholics and other Christians, hopefully. Uh, but he is not changing God's mind. I don't think that's what you were saying. I mean, you don't believe in God, but I don't think that's what you were saying in with your title. And I think my distinction, making the church and Christianity, I think Pope Francis has huge influence on the church, but has no influence on Christianity, right? As the belief of following the teachings of Christ. And whether you are a Christian or not, it's clear to see that Christianity is not something which evolves. It actually is based on, uh, a set teaching that has been given at certain times and has been actually set and called to be carried out, without change. That there should be no other gods, no other authority, no other word on these things before God. So when God says something, there is no authority outside of it. Even the papacy, and I mean, I'm not a Catholic, so I don't know exactly, but even the papacy does not have authority over God. I think that's clear. And so what Pope Francis is doing is clarifying what he believes to be the interpretation of the teachings of God, but not changing God's mind. And inherently, Christianity can't change because, or sorry, not, yeah, it can't change, it can't evolve. And I think rather than using the word evolve when it comes to Christianity, I would say that Christianity is instead pruned to get closer to the core truth. So, for example, denouncing the kind of homophobic and just generally judgmental actions of a lot of Christians and removing those from the church does help reveal the true core truth about Christianity, which is that Jesus came with love for all, and he came to say that all are sinners and all are welcome to salvation no matter what, and you, as Christians, should be living a life with no judgment. And so Francis is saying, who am I to judge? And that's completely in line with the teachings of Christ. He is not he made it clear that he's not changing the Bible or, trying to change the Bible's interpretation of or understanding of homosexual acts. And I think he's just reinforcing the Word of God and hopefully influencing the followers of God. Love your videos, Reneto. Hopefully, I made sense. And please make more. They're awesome.